Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've been totally obsessed with murder mysteries lately, and that's what I'm majoring in college is criminology, and I really enjoy looking at court cases and like serial killers and like all this other crazy stuff. So I wanted to start making videos like this on the internet or on YouTube because I've watched all of Kendall Ray's, all of Bella Fiore's, all of BuzzFeed Unsolved, all of Shane Dawson's like unsolved mysteries and stuff. So I want to make my own and do the cases that like none of the other YouTubers have covered. So today we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Natalee Holloway. I have some notes, so if I'm looking over here, that's why. Also, my dad's mowing, so if you hear mowing, yeah, sorry. Okay. Natalee Holloway was an 18-year-old girl who had just recently graduated from a school called Mountain Brook, which was in Birmingham, Alabama. It was a really nice suburb. She was a really nice girl. She was in National Honor Society, like part of the dance team. Yeah, so her and 124 other classmates of hers, along with a few teacher chaperones, went on a unofficial school trip to Aruba right after graduation. She graduated on May 24th of 2005, and she was pronounced missing on May 30th of 2005. So on May 30th, the day that she went missing, she was last seen at a restaurant and nightclub called Carlos and Charlie's. She was last seen in a car with three men, Horan Vandersloot, I'm sorry, I'm going to probably botch these names. Horan Vandersloot, Satish, and Keepak, I believe, Kalpo, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. She was last seen with these three men at 1:30 a.m. on May 30th, and she was scheduled to leave later in that day on May 30th, and she'd never shown up for her flight. Three men said that they had dropped her off at the hotel after she was seen with them at 1:30 a.m. on May 30th. However, there was no security footage showing Natalee had ever entered the hotel, but that evidence was kind of thrown out because the security cameras may or may not have been working on May 30th, and Natalee didn't necessarily have to go through the lobby to get up to her room that night, so that evidence was thrown out. I also feel that it's pretty important to mention that Natalee's passport and her bags were found packed away. Her luggage was already packed up, ready to go to leave the following day, or on May 30th, the same day that she had disappeared. So I find it hard to believe that Natalee would have, say, ran away or something and tried to stay in Aruba and like didn't show up for a flight on purpose. I would say she was probably taken or murdered. Or another important thing to mention is Natalee had drank excessively on this trip, along with, I'm sure, the rest of her classmates. A girl that Natalee had shared a room with while she was on the trip had said that Natalee drank so much she'd wake up in the morning with a couple of shots. She wouldn't wake up early enough to go down and get breakfast. She would come stumbling into the room really late at night, totally trashed. So I think that's another important fact. Now that we have the basis of the case, let's talk about the suspects. So there were a lot of suspects in the case. I think they were just trying to arrest people and to try to give the family peace, to try to make their country look better, because it brought a lot of negative publicity to Aruba through like America. The first set of suspects were Nick Johns and Abraham Jones. These were a pair of gentlemen who were security at a hotel that had been shut down for renovation at the time. They were thought to drive around at night and try to pick up ladies from hotels. They had some sort of like record, like a criminal record, but nobody really knows exactly why they were suspects. There's no evidence pointing toward them, except that people think that Van Horen and the Kelpos may have said that they were the suspects to try to cover their own butts. And that brings us to those three men who, in my opinion, are really the only suspects. Like I said, I think they were trying to find more suspects to try to give people a peace of mind sort of thing. I'm not really too sure. But in my opinion, the main suspect is Horan Vandersloot. Vandersloot had ended up being arrested by the time the case was closed two different times on suspicion that he had something to do with the murder, and the Kalpo brothers were arrested 3 different times each on the suspicion that they had something to do with the murder. Horan and the Calpo brothers' story was that they had dropped off Natalee at the hotel, but eventually their stories changed. Horan said that they went to a beach and they were hanging out there, and Natalee was really drunk and she was trying to come on to him, trying to have sex with him, and he didn't want to do that. And so he ended up leaving her at the beach, which I find really hard to believe, because if a girl was extremely intoxicated, she wasn't from that country. Vandersloot and the Calpo brothers were both from that country. Vandersloot was a student there. I find it hard to believe that you're just going to leave a random drunk girl at a beach because she could drown. She could get lost. She could never find her way back to her hotel. You know what I'm saying? And so Vandersloot said later, after he changed his story and said that he had left her at the beach. And he said that, he said that Satish Calpo had came and picked him up from the beach where he left Natalee at later in the night, around 3 a.m. However, Satish ended up saying that he had fallen asleep as soon as he got home after he dropped them off at the beach, and he never went and picked up Vandersloot from the beach. So that points to Vandersloot again, in my opinion. Vandersloot ended up doing quite a few interviews about the disappearance of Natalee Holloway, always saying he was innocent, like it never pointed toward him. In his opinion, he actually ended up writing a book, and that was published in April 2007 in Dutch, talking about his experience being a suspect in the Natalee Holloway murders, which I found very odd considering the case was still open, and I didn't think that you were allowed to do that, but maybe the rules in Dutch are different, or in Aruba, whatever, are different, I'm not sure. Because of the lack of evidence, no charges were actually ever made. Holloway's remains were never found, even though the FBI got involved, the Dutch Army got involved, the Dutch Air Force with their aircrafts got involved, divers dove to look for Natalee's body in the ocean. Like, no remains were ever found. There was no evidence to point even where she had been, what happened to her at all. The case was closed on December 18th of 2007, but it was actually reopened on February 1st of 2008 whenever video evidence of Vandersloot high off of marijuana in a car came forth, saying that he had done it. He knows where Natalee was, or not necessarily that he had done it, but he knew where Natalee was. She was dead, and a friend had disposed of her remains. In the video, it says she's hidden good, like they'll never find her, like nobody's gonna know what happened to Natalee Holloway, which obviously, even though he never directly said I killed Natalee, kind of makes you feel like he killed Natalee. I'll insert a clip, if I can find one, of Vandersloot in the car here.
Ik weet het ook niet, ik denk dat het... Maar heb jij geprobeerd reanimeren? Tuurlijk, Pet, ik heb alles geprobeerd, man. Ik heb haar geprobeerd te schudden, ik zat dat lijf te schudden van wat doet dit er met je, man. Ik wou bijna huilen van waarom moet dit shit met mij zo gebeuren. Tuurlijk hoor, tuurlijk. En ik zeg tegen dit krant, gewoon het oplossen. Toen zei hij, ja, de boot staat daar zo, staat daar zo bij die pier zo, ik weet het ook. Ja. En hij zei tegen me, ja oké, nou help me dan eventjes. Ja. En dus hebben we gewoon haar genomen naar die boot. Gekild. Ja.
Vandersloot eventually denied that he had said that or any of it was true. He said he was just telling the interviewer what he wanted to hear. So that evidence was thrown out once again. No charges were made once again. And on January 12th, 2012, Natalee Holloway was officially declared dead. Natalee's family was extremely disappointed in Aruba's efforts to try to find their daughter. They feel that they didn't put 100% effort toward trying to find their daughter. They actually tried to put up a ban for Americans to not go to Aruba, and they were backed by the Alabama governor. However, it never took off. People kept going to Aruba. I guess nobody really cared. So I think it's pretty obvious who did this. All the evidence points toward Vandersloot. However, I could see, considering how much Natalee had drank on this little trip and how much she partied and everything, maybe Vandersloot did take her to the beach and she accidentally drowned, or he accidentally lost her in the water, and he didn't know what to do, so he just ran away and just pretended like he had no idea what was happening. Part of me thinks that maybe he did kill her and they just disposed of her body in the ocean. And even though divers did look, the ocean's such a big place, they probably never would have found her anyway. So that's it for the case. Let me know what you guys think, who did it. If you guys like this video or videos like this, give it a thumbs up. I kind of want to start doing stuff like this, posting it every Friday and call it like Freaky Friday. Do like murder mysteries, unsolved mysteries, missing people, conspiracy theories, stuff like that. So let me know how you feel about that. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.